Hello, it's Mark. Hi, how are you doing? It's 8:30 here in London, and this is my first ever playthrough of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. I have seen a play. Have I played it? I'm going to say no. I'm going to start completely fresh. And it wants me to go to what point? On the old darkness. I kind of like to see things as I get older, rather than keep it completely atmospheric. The current time? Alright. Is it 12 hour? It's PM. You should know this computer. You're a very silly computer. Mind and body are the same thing. 8. I did watch a playthrough, Evan and Caitlin play through this, and I adored the experience. So I have got some knowledge, but I'm going to say, I've also got no memory of things. So the end is never. The end is never. Let's go. Okay, it's a cubicle. I can't seem to interact with anything. X makes a clicky noise if I'm near things, so that's probably an interact. No.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, I guess I am Stanley.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Well, I wouldn't say no trace. Look, that mug is a trace of a co-worker. That's Jerry's mug. Number 1, Dad, that's Collins. Faux show. 437, anything? No. 436, nothing. What's that mug? Whose mug is that? Is that Sharon's? Yeah, that's Sharon's. Can I crouch now? I just like... I just work. I like work. I just hate my boss. Yeah, Sharon. Old Anarchy Sharon, they call her. Okay, through some other desks. Other rooms. Somebody playing solitaire there, the looks of it. That's 45.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Well, again, that's by your narrative, your understanding of what the narrative should be. Who says I'm to be compliant in that narrative? We're talking about predeterminism. Hello. Oh, I can crouch. It's shoulder button. Both left shoulders, okay. I hate Mondays. I hate. I don't feel especially different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, so this is potentially the first choice I have. Do I follow the narrative? Do I not? And look at me, almost without subconsciously.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Maybe. I don't think you should be second-guessing my motivations. And maybe I do this every day, trying all the doors. Rather...
Yes, truly a room worth admiring.
obsessive.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
No, I'm not standing. I'm moving about. In somewhat of an erratic fashion, you could argue.
Yes, really. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
All right, so... Oh, the door is shut. Well, there's a door here, it's open. What's that way?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Judgy. Is there a jump? No. Huh. It's a long way down.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Oh, I disagree.
There's
I
someone
think
you've been neglecting, Stanley.
you?
Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make
Dre?
every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
You're asking for her.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
What?
To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Why is it just plugged into the wall with the power cord? I can't... Oh, I can.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
Bit
I'm
close
trying to
to
make a
home.
point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something.
Uh-huh.
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay. Yeah? Are you...
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press square on my controller. I shall.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow.
Thanks.
He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Yeah, okay.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch.
He's not.
Now he's going home.
No, he's not.
Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him,
dynamic.
except that he's chosen this life.
Yeah, yeah. All true.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful.
It is.
And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Dreaming,
The
am I
thought
right?
excited him terribly.
Good old Stanley.
So
There's a
he
clicking
went
sound.
further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. Down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Ah,
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
but I'm just going to leave this for a second just to see.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always
did press
has.
the button.
Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
So we'll leave that one. I don't want to go to sleep. Damn noisy clock. I'm going to press every other button. All right.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. He won't listen to me.
That's
He won't
all right.
stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. Well, if I press that button, I will probably restart the game. But I wonder if I do not press any buttons. For how long, shall we say? Could have looked up at the clock. Alright, so no button presses for now. So, first off, we're all dying, no matter what we do. That's, as soon as you're born, you're on a path to death. The question is when and how, maybe, but mostly when. So that doesn't matter that Stanley chooses to live in a fantasy world, because maybe the whole point of life is the journey rather than the destinations, and Stanley in this fantasy world sees many destinations. He experiences many destinations. He gets the opportunity to try different paths. That's a unique opportunity. We are always stuck with our choices. I wonder how long I should give this, because it is starting to get a little boring. But let's call it, let's say this is the end. Maybe 30 seconds more? 30 seconds more, gone. So I don't necessarily, there's judgment being passed by the narrator on Stanley's life here, an expectation by the narrator that what Stanley is elected to do is somehow incorrect, wrong. That's dodgy ground. It's moral superiority for a start. Alright, time to press the button. 1:15. Press return.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Definitely value judge. This is, yeah.
I suppose
not
I
about
can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose.
You and
I'll
I.
try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to.
Crunch apple.
I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
They forced it on me. The end is never the end. It's never the end. Back in my cubbyhole. Alright, I know this game has multiple endings. But that's not much of a surprise.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Though it's not a memory game, I am going to spend some time looking around to see. Alright, that's a window, right, okay. Yeah? It's a window to an empty bit. It's not no, it's not a mirror. Proving my vampiric status, of course. I do like the sound. It's definitely the right sound.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he
See this
entered the
door
door
shut?
on his left.
Right. I'm actually getting a refraction. So, We're going to
This
go
was
this
not
way.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
I did. I
just to
actually did
admire
this
it.
time. This time I wanted to stay by the lounge. Still try all the doors.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now but eager to get back to business. Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay. So I think that way. I don't think there's any other choices. That door over there.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Anyway, down here. Can't see it. Penalty of misuse. Get around there? No.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps
about
we've gotten
there?
off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult,
Ooh,
but the
hold on.
fact is that the story has been about nothing but
I feel
you
this is death.
all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Changed his tune, didn't he? Got to be mindful of where the doors, like that. So that suggests. All right. Well, it means I can't go back, but this is now a choice.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh my God. Okay, this is another choice. Let's go through the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me.
No, thanks.
Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Thanks.
What do we want? What are we looking
Pizza.
for?
Pizza. Means you draw two lines. Oh.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Nice. It's very pleasant. Can I fall? No, it doesn't look like it can. There's a stairway down there. And that isn't the way we came in, because I saw that as we came in on the left-hand side. We came in from here. Now, I like ambient music. I make ambient music. I spend a lot of time listening to ambient music as a choice. feels a bit like Carousel. We've had that. And we've got green dots. Bear with me a second. Let's turn off my video. Yeah. Well, this is nice. One of my favourite birthday treats I would have when I was a teenager would be my parents would take me to the London Planetarium on Baker Street. It's around Marylebone. I think it's on the A40. And we would firstly we'd go to the planetarium shows, and then later we went to Laserium, and I loved it. And Laser Rock, there were two shows, well maybe they were the two shows I saw, Laserium and Laser Rock. Very similar, with a mixture of projected laser, 4-color laser system, and the actual planetarium being used in good effect as well. And I'd seen a few planetarium shows, so I knew a lot of the slides, a lot of the star maps and stuff like that they used. But I was in heaven. That was my teens. I didn't date much, you can tell, can't you? Well, it hasn't looped yet. There was a place I used to live in Second Life. Oh, now we've got the blobbies again. That was like this. You can do an awful lot with, what's it called when you, the false distance thing. They are actually moving, the stars. I think these are, it looks like painted cubes or squares. So we have these colours twice. I'm sure it was white when we came in. Or maybe not, maybe blue. And then green. If it's green after this, I think we can move on. We've seen most of the show. Yeah. You gonna fade away now? Some nice chords though. It's the minor seventh, the root. Well, this seems to be just doing this now. But because the dots fade into black, it does remind me of Carousel from Logan's Run as well. I watched a can I jump? Is there any other path apart from that door? No. Alright, thank you, universe. That was very nice.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
All of what?
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Oh. If you don't want to know the scores, look away.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment.
Let's go back.
Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Yeah, we can go back to the other room. If you want, here it is. Look, it's still stuck.
There. See? This is what you want.
I do
this
like
is where
it.
We can both be happy. We really can.
Amazingly,
If
I
we
can
stop
walk.
moving, we just have to stop moving.
Now I'm bored. I think we're going to have to. There's no
Stanley,
run.
go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Well, no. I mean, you're depicting.
No. No. What do you do? Do you
Insulation.
just not believe me? What can I say to
So,
convince you?
content warning. I'm going to walk backwards though.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
But yeah.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game?
Oh, now it's your
You'll throw
game.
yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
No. I think I see what this game is.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I
Come
don't
on,
know
why can't I
anymore.
run?
I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all.
I'm not supposed
Well,
to
this one is
dragging
yours.
my leg up the stairs. Alright, face first this time. Head first. Can I? No.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
So, is that the object of the game, actually, to free the narrator from their responsibilities? As if the narrator is playing it in real time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Didn't try the doors. B6. Hello? Oh. Awaiting input. That wasn't there before. can't seem to do anything with it. So 4B3 there. Is that the same? 4B2
When
or
Stanley
4B3?
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
I
left.
didn't do the blue door. Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I do, and then I want to go on, and
The
then fall
lounge
off
was
the...
sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Still got all whatever's that way, which is the way he wants me to go.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy.
What if I fall
really,
this way?
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you
tried to
all
fall down
this
there.
time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
I don't
Are you
remember
that convinced
any
that I
other
want
choice.
something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but
After
I
the
really
blue
do want to
door.
help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Stanley's gonna...
Perhaps you misunderstood.
Whoa.
Stanley walked through the red door.
No door. Let's go blue again.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here, yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right... No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley. No! Oh, thank God. No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
I had my mic muted, sorry.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Keep muting my mic, my apologies. Do not alter without consulting the whiteboard manager. R.I.P. Franz. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Employee 417 405 491 416 431 Jim. Targets. Funding. New coffee machine is a good idea. Standardized graphics. Or graphs. Get Chris out of broom closet. Okay. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized to fire paper guy. Hire someone to fire the paper synergizing guy who moved my desk. Please keep the targets on the topic of blur. Okay. Ooh. That's a pretty epic printer they've got in the office to do that size of print. But I do approve of it. How to solve a dispute with a co-worker. Using slides to assure your employees that everything is okay. Yeah, blue graphics always important, depending on the work color scheme, of course. Everyone is unique, you most of all. So this is an HR presentation. Yeah, it doesn't have a scale though, does it? It's a unit of 1. Rate at which charts on the same side depict the same information. Oh. On your boss appreciation minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out and triplicate and return to your boss appreciation specialist. BAS, we call them, solving interpersonal conflict. If you find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more inclined to conflict unless you're the kind of... Oh. What are your dreams for the future? Jetpacks. Not even on there. Less air. Tip's not getting fired. I think this is the one that was on the screen when we came in. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day. Yeah. Okay, we have a cycle. To do. Synergize core value expenditures. Synergize the expenditures. Synergize core values? Yes, but to synergize core value expenditures means an accounting person need to put it against the same cost center. Shift global market paradigms, I presume, or paradises, or paradiddles. Monetize free to play. Help, I'm a post-it. Top priority, some charts. Okay. Oh, broom closet. Is this where Chris is? Oh. Ooh. Got opened.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Did he? There doesn't look to be anything here.
There was nothing here.
Oh.
No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Well, it's not
no
empty.
reason to still be here.
I wouldn't mind the monkey wrench. No? Gaffer tape?
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
I was actually looking
He
for
wasn't
Chris.
even doing anything.
Well,
At least
I
if
am.
there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Fanny Adams. Despite what...
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yeah, I am.
Standing around doing nothing?
Not standing around doing nothing.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
You can tell I'm clicking things, right? Just saying. I'm going to stay here now, just because...
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
But I thought
It
we...
didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
It was mentioned on the notice board back there, though.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path.
I think it is.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say,
Oh.
"Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Sure.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money.
Yeah, drug
also,
money.
Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Addicted's probably a strong word. You mean...
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here. When a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system, and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead.
Not on the
They have
computer.
fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I'm not at my computer, am I? Was that radioactive? There's a nice shine. I mean, it's just a. It's not an effect, but that's a nice metallic finish on those tools. All right.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Let's go to the boss's office. Ooh. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. You scrawled that. I mean, maybe it's graffiti, maybe it's actually, this is a vandalism by an employee to guilt the executive to, doesn't flush. But it does exist. No mirror, I have no presence.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Unless he had some sort of internal narrative. It's a certificate of pompousness.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Well, again,
trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
What about the piano? I thought this kind of boss would have a grand rather than an upright. It's got all this room. It's definitely
2845.
All right, okay. 2. I like that it hurries you along. It's fun. They've thought about.
Yet incredibly, by simply
People like
pushing
me
random buttons
who,
on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
What's happening?
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay, a secret passageway. The boss takes up how many floors? This space? In this building? Something to store. There was a fireplace here, right? Did it go up? Oh my god. I thought something went down as well. Maybe the actual door. Okay. We're again channeling our inner portal here. Okay, well, we're going down. I pressed up, but...
Descending deeper into the building,
Yes?
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest,
Don't
as
really
though he
feel
felt
peculiar.
more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
What was that? So I can go back up. Okay. Not finished.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No. Go into the mind control facility. Well, did that turn this light on here? That seems a rather aggressively large switch for such a small wattage device.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Okay.
Did he have the strength to find out?
Brazil vibes. What? Just the one big button?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
427, that's me, isn't it? I can't zoom. I'm around that number. Maybe 423. Oh, that looks like my desk. I'm not there. I'm here. And interesting. Employee 104 got fired. Any others? Doesn't look like it. Couldn't, yeah, 101's thingy. I don't see any others apart from one up here. That's 104 was fired, and so that's, I presume, employee 0? Oh, there's 2 blank ones, and then it starts with 1. Okay, I came here. There's a button.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
That's...
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh, right, okay. Hollywood ending. Would I? There's coloured buttons. Lots of coloured buttons. I saw a 3 over there. There's a 5 here. You can cross over. There's a 1, then a 2. So you've got 1, 2, then 3 over here. Three. Where's 4? There's 5. Three. And there's a... Oh. Well, this seems an incredibly impractical use of architectural design, unless you have to run across. And there's a door. I don't see the 4. Console disabled. But where's 4? There's another door here. Can't see anything. Unless 1, 2, 3, 5 is a clue.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Sure. Let's turn off the system. I can't resist that opportunity to shut down. Something new.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Well, a bit like
Was
Darby.
it over? Yes.
Oh.
He had won.
Oh.
He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I beat the game. I beat the game. I was 427. There's still as a nothing. I hate Mondays, do I? I don't think I do.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps. And
Yes.
a painting. Was it a painting or a photo?
Oh, I
He
don't
could
remember
no
either.
longer recall.
I remember the mug just now. My computer's off. Or is this the first bay? Oh, this is the second bay. Okay. That one is a painting. The dramatic lighting of that.
When Stanley came to
All
a
right,
set of
I'm
two
going through
open
this one.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
And meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh yeah. So I'm going down. Didn't mention.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No comment, narrator? Mr.
But Stanley just
Narrator.
couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy,
really.
why had he taken that risk? All because he
nobody
believed
around.
everyone had vanished. His
Everybody
boss
has
would think
vanished.
he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any
Oh, hold on, we're
logical
looping.
sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
It's a valid
Why did
point.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Oh.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh,
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun,
Yay!
and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice
I'm
speak
back
these words
to
was quite a shock to Stanley.
standard movement, not the
After
floating
all,
movement.
he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the
Is
voice
it a
not see him
dream?
float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
Okay.
That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
A lot of pressure.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
Normal.
Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I'm still here. Right.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
12B4.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
It's not me, I can't
She
move.
would soon turn to
Oh,
go call
I'm
for an
dead.
ambulance. For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Would you do that? I don't know. I've seen some weird things in London. Oh, I'm back in my room. There is a picture of a relatively pastoral scene. There's some snowy mountains and cable wires. I hate Monday's mug. Anything here? Definitely not.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Big white window. Another one. Still can't jump. I didn't realise that door's shut. No, that's the surname access. Didn't see an awaiting input this time.
When Stanley came to a
Did I
set
die,
of two open
really?
doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Trying to see what haven't I done? What's that door? Oh. Oh. Another lift. Let's go up. Mr. Business. Did you go in here? Given a second opportunity to go up. The controller's going crazy. Oh. Is it the same place? A lift that... No, come on. Business strategy, okay. Let's go down then. I hear you, narrator. But this is the same place. So this is nothing. Okay. It's a lift. It's a lift. Oh, hello. Thank you. The beige page.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I can't remember any other choices. Well, there's 2 buttons here. I'm going to try going up. Oh no, it does go, yeah, down. I literally just did this one. Is this the mind control?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So what if I go up? Can I do anything?
Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out. Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
No little interactive dot anywhere.
Incredible.
Well,
Now he's getting back into the elevator.
got to get out of the
Down
elevator.
again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
It's more funny to go back.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor?
No. No.
It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again?
It is.
Or what if it's the boss's office this time?
Oh,
The
wow.
suspense is killing me.
Thanks.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Alien. And my 70s childhood. They were very pernickety to get right.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Good.
All right, I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
It's still... Was it 2845? I feel again I'm stuck. I don't
Of course.
even...
Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
There's all those buttons in there. Oh, one more time for the world, come on.
You know what?
What?
I've just thought of something.
What?
Hold on, let's stop for a moment.
Stop.
Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley.
Anticipation.
You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Okay.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley,
Sure.
it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They
Yeah,
want
man.
big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started.
I think it's about getting old as well.
Where's
Yeah.
the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know. People look up to
Can you
you.
imagine?
Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you. So that you can
Press?
talk about your
Oh,
work and
all
your
right.
storytelling and your life.
Cool.
Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a
Don't know
lot to
about
the
that.
people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better.
Cool.
Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
It's me. That's me, I presume, as well. Doesn't really help. Oh, I do wish I could run. This reminds me of the Palladium.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
And through that door. No, it's not a door, I suppose.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Ah, it's my family home. Is that what that's insinuating? The photograph in my office. I can't see what else is on the table here. That's my office number, 47. Oh, that's a practice putt. Executive toy. That's how you could tell in movies if the office guy you were going to see was an arsehole. Hey, how you doing? Whoa, yeah! Hey, whoa! Finger guns, woo, yeah! Love you, yeah! How about it? Wave. Have a whiteout. Oh well, it's what happens. Oh, look where I am. Back in Lonely Owl 427. I don't get to give my press conference.
Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
There's input received. That suggests I've got one more. What haven't I done? Tell me why.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
What does it mean? Well, it means I can't get in there. Okay. This is the last. Can I do all the ones where you turn? You go through the other door, and there's an elevator there. Oh, hello.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Yay!
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013
Wow.
on home computers. After receiving
12
critical
years
and
old.
commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe,
Which is
a
what we're playing
reimagining
now.
of the game for consoles and home computers.
Which is what I'm playing on console.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
More!
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
That's where they crush me. Is there anything?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Oh, it's a bit nauseous. Nauseating.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see it. The jump circle.
I get to jump? Cool. Not very high. And I don't like that number went down. I'm going to keep my jumps. Maybe do one more. Just two. Yeah. All right.
Is that it?
Yeah!
Surely that's not all the new content.
Yay!
There has to be something
Lift.
else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley,
I can't
I
jump
have
now.
to say,
I have to be in the
initial
circle.
impressions of this game are not positive.
You're kidding
It's
me.
just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If
Yeah.
this is new content, then I can just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could
I've
count
read
to
the
30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more.
Oh,
Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
okay.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, well, I've not given a choice. Well, that's new. This is my office again. That does nothing still. My mug. I hate Mondays. Yeah, but I really do hate Mondays. Everything bad happened on a Monday in my life. So is that the first view as you come out? Ooh.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Not yet. Huh.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine.
No, I'm going to go this way.
Anyway, so who cares?
So it's not the first view. Oh, we can still go back. New content door is shut. Do we go on? Let's go on. Let's follow his path.
When Stanley came to a set of two
I'm
open
going to go this
doors,
way.
this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I don't think
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies
I need
in his
to remind
stomach,
myself
but
of this.
eager to get back to business. Stanley took the first
That way.
open door on his left.
So I'll do that.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, faded to black.
But Stanley
Okay.
didn't want to go back to the office.
No.
He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Yeah.
So now in order to get back, he needed to go, From here, it's, Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Sure?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
To there.
Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
There's a truck. Excuse me, my ear itched. Oh!
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh. Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I keep expecting someone to be in these mirrors, in these mirrored rooms, because the way our brains work, they fail on repeated pass-throughs of similar stuff. Our memories go, all right, this is very similar to the last time we experienced this, dump this. It's very hard to be actively trying to remember. Is that the new content? No, 416 is...
When Stanley...
What?
Wait, what?
Oh.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay. Not down there. Corridor. Which one? There you are, saying, oh, yawny, Marky. I'm going to start here.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
First room. I just yawned then. The door doesn't shut. Second room. Door doesn't shut. That's the surname access. That one doesn't shut. This one does. No. That's different, isn't it? Is that door colour wrong? I thought 4B3 was...
It's worse.
Oh.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
So I'm looking at that, and that's different. That's where I came from. Spilt coffee. Ladder? Was that always there? Maybe.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something.
What?
The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay. Still
Now
following his...
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Thank you.
Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at
Oh,
all.
thanks.
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair
they?
and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Fine. Okay. Wasn't there something about a yellow line?
All right, I've got a solution.
Okay.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
That's different.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
This is great.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office,
Yes.
is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct?
No.
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
I'm going to follow the yellow line. Is that a question mark? Made that a question mark. Jamie Liddell, walking, talking a question mark. Well, these lower employee owners really don't get a nice crack of the whip, and you'd think they'd be the ones who've been here the longest because of the lower employment. So this is just office finance. That doesn't work, does it? What? What? There's a hidden corridor. You see that can't exist in this universe. So I'm going down here. Oh, I think it's back where it's coming back anyway. Isn't it? Door's shut there. Okay. I thought we'd seen financial records before in that bit with the magical
Cut the
corridor.
music. Go back and look at that fern.
Oh,
Stanley,
yeah.
this fern will be very important later in the story.
Uh-huh.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Just taking some screenshots. Nice. I don't see, there's no jump or interaction. I don't see anything by squatting. Oh.
Wait, what? We're back at the office?
Well,
No,
you know.
no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Line TN. And there was a cross there, wasn't there? Oh, hello.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's
Really?
it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
What if I just stay here in my office? If I carry on just pressing the buttons? Talking of which, Severance is going to start next week, I think, on Apple TV. What corp? Partition Corp, what does it say? Partition Corp, of course, providing partitions for 56 years. Nothing? The clock is moving. time is progressing. So that's still closed to me. I still have to find my own way.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Is
Just
it?
me and
Corridor.
Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go
Looping.
wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Just like thinking the office is sort of, oh, there goes the line up there. My future is in the ceiling. Okay.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision.
Do we?
From here, the story is in our control. How important, we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to
Get
think
some
here. Just
water.
walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clear yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Sorry about that, old fellas, ladies. Just getting some more water. They drink it in the highfalutin places. So I now have a door I can go through. I never did the walking around in the circle though. I'm just doing that. Ooh.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The
Ooh,
confusion
what is this?
ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I
Oh, the
hope
clock
that's
stopped.
where we
Right.
are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
again. But again, this bit isn't, well, I've been down there, haven't I?
Stanley, come over here. In the vent.
Alright,
I
let's go
want
down
to
the vent.
show you something.
Okay. Coffee nut.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Ooh. Norman by Arch Design.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Okay.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Anyone saying a big booby lady having a bath? Being pursued by crows or dragons of some sort with shells on their back like winkles. Then we've got Popeye maybe eating spinach. Well, these programmers, they're strange people. Ah, here we are. Oh, this looks nice, doesn't it? I mean, if this was your Airbnb, you'd be made up. Okay.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
A stolen BAFTA. I would have been impressed if you'd got a BAFTA. 2013. Postcards. Who's that guy? Memory Zone Temp. I mean, I suppose it is, you know, if you do look at postcards before you go into the exhibition, you do spoil it a bit. Smile because it happened. Okay. My first dollar. I framed it. Should have invested it. I can't play the game within the game. And this, well, maybe the demo was different. I came from that way. Go outside and don't play for 5 years. Unachievable. It is possible to get this achievement. This is BAFTAs again, yes? Nominee. I think that's from the soundtrack. I can hear a cockerel crowing. to my right. I had to check. It is weird. I can tell my left from my right, but not my right from my left. Deals, tough choices. Get it? Beta, work in progress. Yeah, I mean, as an exhibition, it's a bit thin. Oh, can I sit on here? Oh.
Je suis dans la mémorisation, c'est sur l'abri de l'eau, et je n'attends plus que toi, mon amour.
Okay.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable
definitely wasn't
was.
that.
It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
We have a choice. Minecraft. Just don't get Minecraft. Red and the blue door. Remember the time, the remember berries. A globe.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Well, it's 9 out of 10, not 10 out of 10, so perfect is problematic to assume that. It says 9 out of 10, there's a 1, it could be improved, it could be improved graphically. People play games of what they can do inside them. And your game is very good at letting them know they can't do anything.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back and have it all over again.
Yeah? It's never the end. I can't get in there. Nope. The serious room. There's no like sneaky little. Alright. We'll go down the stairs. So it wasn't a choice.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Drink. Superliminal.
Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I've never heard of Pressurized Gas. Then again, I'm not really a PC or Steam gamer. Maybe it would have come across my path that way.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Okay. Oh right, yeah, okay. I turned this way. Path. A fall, which I cannot return from.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Okay.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this.
Okay.
The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no?
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think.
Okay.
So my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice.
Sure.
That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once.
Yeah.
That you are both making choices and not making choices.
Yes.
And that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've got me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation. And I do find myself in this situation frequently.
Which is?
I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other.
Okay.
In which case, the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. 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 Treatise, manifesto.
I think.
Treatise, manifesto. 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 Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 would say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not widely abused. used.
But
I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial.
I'm sure you would.
Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
You gonna stop there? Clock is saying 1:30. That plant, I think, has lost some leaves. We can't leave. All we can do is press the button.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That
Okay.
last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
40.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really
7,
only so
8.
much I can ramble on to myself about. I know it's
Maybe
shocking,
it's
isn't
2.
it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again.
And
I
do
think
what?
the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and
Doesn't
we
have
can
a
say
door now.
goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go?
Right?
Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Yes.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button.
I'm not
Please,
pressing the
please,
skip button.
please do not press the skip button. Just
Not pressing it.
wait here for me, and don't press the skip button.
That's what I'm
Got
doing.
it?
Yes.
Good. I'll be right back.
Okay. Do we think he's going to come back? I think we have to press the skip button. With 2 more cycles around. That's 1 and 2. Let's go. You left. You lied.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Oh.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm
Therefore,
fixating
they're
on
everybody.
every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone.
Yeah.
And that I had the power to prevent it all from happening.
Really?
If only I'd held my tongue.
Well, I could turn off the game.
It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision.
Yep.
As to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely
you
you'll
stop
put
talking.
your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me and oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
There we go, there's the
those
repeat.
reviews of... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
We've got a change
I
of
have
lighting.
someone to talk to again.
Leaves
Stanley,
on the ground.
I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button.
Yeah.
That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was
could
the
leave the room.
vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me,
Yes.
then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time. Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities.
But I
felt
can't-
nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you.
I am here.
Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but
Wasn't
merely
planning
to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do. That perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival.
Oh,
if
thanks.
I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Maybe. You done? Let's skip. The narrator has left us. We still have no way to get out. We skip. The plant is, yeah, not good. We have a bleep. Bleep is annoying. But I can't see any environmental changes.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world, as though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires,
there's some choice.
every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being.
Well,
Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes, it seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse.
go. He's gone again. Still nothing. A drip of water. No torch, of course. Why would you have a torch? You don't have a body. Accept.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
How's that drip? It's getting worse. I think that's our probable way out. Ooh! Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Can't get out though. We have daylight. No. Radioactive tape. They do good in supply. Okay, still don't think we've got a way out. Press again. Oh! Last of Us. There's still animal life. Night time is the right time. Still nothing. Anything? The sound of monsters. Screeching. Screeching. Could just be winter. That's why there's no. Oh, the skip button is broken and I am on the beach. Do love a beach. Can't climb it. Trying to get a good view. Right, well, let's walk away from the room. Oh, went black. The end is never the end, is never the end, the end. Oh. Huh. I'm in heaven. This is similar to the previous. Don't. Why is that one slightly different in colour? They changed colour. One, two, three. 6 rows. What if we click them when they're aligned? No. They're both moving. Am I turning or are they turning? I think, yeah, the illusion is that I'm turning. I don't. I think this is allegorical. It's heaven, where I just push buttons all day. Without consequence. And they come on after a certain period of time. So your job is never done. This is heaven. There's nothing on crouch. I can't see a special colour. I think maybe there's a line where they all line up. But it's not an occlusion. Is it an occultization? alignment, planetary alignment. Let's have a quick look at this. So, deviate from the matrix room, enter the monitor room, narrator restarts the game, first restart, discover 2 rooms now, has many additional doors. We've done that, aimless wandering, narrator restarts the game. Second restart, the office is now a dead end, turn around, find another dead end, end up in another building, restart the game. Third restart, adventure line, nonce philosophy and music, return to the office, return to the monitor room, fourth restart. The venture into unexplored territory, yes. Find the line again. Find the confusion ending schedule, which is this. Oh. Narrator starts the game. Fifth restart, narrator forgets about previous restarts. Stanley attempts to play the story but is prevented, unable to go anywhere and do anything. This game restarts on its own. Don't remember that. Sixth, we start to find the line again, beginning to follow the line, find an identical replica of the office as it begins to deteriorate. Attempt to make up a story here. See, that rings a bell. Narrator restarts the game. Seventh restart, there is no longer an office. Simply black space. Wander in the blackness. Find a bookstore. Get bored and leave? No, I haven't done that. Narrator restarts the game. Eighth restart. Narrator is gone. After a long time, Stanley dies. Okay. I'm going to call that a night, and we will try again tomorrow, hopefully. Thanks for sticking with me. This has been amazing. I think this is fantastic. I love this is an exploration game to find the narrative, I suppose. You're basically making sure that the voice actor gets to play all their parts, which is nice. I appreciate that. When I play sandbox games, I think of all the additional content that I haven't heard or interacted with all the time. And though I don't think I am OCD, there is definitely a compulsion in me to, well, let's do that. I would just spend hours standing on the corner in GTA to listen to the conversations of the people. Because there's tons and tons of stuff in there. It's all nonsense, but somebody did that. Somebody spent time and did that. Well, now we have AI. Whether that stuff really matters anymore, because all that stuff becomes just generated. It becomes less valuable as a commodity, as an experience. Because part of all experience is not solipsistic. It can be. And something about modern society definitely promotes solipsism, or the isolationist, the otaku. Me, I'm quite a loner, really. I live on my own. I'm quite happy with my own company. Am I being led down a path that has already been promoted for me to follow? Am I just, again, this is predetermination, thinking along those lines. Which I'm not a massive fan of predetermination, because I believe essentially all life is chaos. Our attempts to make it ordered or distractions from that point of view. Not that you can break physics or anything like that by not believing it, not believing in gravity you can fly. That's definitely not true. This is not the Matrix. I can't remember who said it, but reality is the fantasy that won't switch off, the one that perseveres. That's reality. Even if you were insane, to use pejorative terms. If you were in a delusional state, hallucinatory state, if you believed that was real and could not make it stop, and it persisted, then it is reality to you. And that's why hallucinatory experiences are difficult, can be very difficult and dangerous. Because you do have to remember, it's only a movie. It's only a movie. Because reality exists beyond this. Okay, alright, enough wittering metaphysically. Have a great afternoon, evening, morning, and I'll see you tomorrow.